Hey guys, this is Not Lambers, I'm Invoker 101.
Hello.
And I'm here with Angel of Alchemy, and of course, as you all know, if you're in my Discord and just around in general, you know that the... around in general. You know that the Speedroid cards just got revealed. So something I really wanted to talk about was those cards, of course. This is a deck that I am really passionate about. I know Mio really likes it too. So I figured it'd be cool to kind of sit down, talk about each card, and talk about what they offer to each deck. And kind of how they interact with each other, because these were definitely designed with the cards in here in mind. So like, they were definitely designed to work together.
When you say each deck, did you mean to say each deck, or did you mean like each variant of Speedroids, which is like 2?
Oh, I meant just like each other. We'll start off with the brand new. People are calling it Yugo's Axel Synchro, which basically means it needs a Synchro Tuner and a Synchro Monster. So, and that of course is Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. It's the brand new Synchro Dragon that we got, and it's a level 10. It needs it's a level 10 Wind Dragon, of course, and it needs of course it needs a Tuner Synchro and a non-Tuner Clearwing monster. Notice it doesn't say it has to be a Synchro monster, but we also didn't get a main deck Clearwing, so this really sucked.
Yeah.
That was really unfortunate. But it has 3,025, which you think would be a little beefier because you have to put... I'll hold off. I'll hold off until I get to the effects.
You're gonna do the whole thing.
So it has 3,025. It needs a Tuner Synchro and a Clearwing, and it says once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that opponent's monster's original attack until the end of this turn. And if you do, this card is unaffected by opponent's monsters activate. This is unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects this turn. Once per turn, when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate it, and if you do, destroy that card. If this Synchro Summoned card you control is sent to your graveyard by opponent's card, you can add 1 wind monster from your deck to your hand. So, I of course want to mention the 2 good things on this card, which is that it searches a wind when it dies, much like Kite Drake, except, Kite Drake only searches a Speedroid, this searches any wind. And it is finally the Speedroid Spell and Trap Negate. Finally.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
But the bad part is that this...
it's kinda.
it really should have had first of all, this should have been a Towers. I legitimately think this should have been unaffected by stuff in general. Like, Blackwing's got a card that was unaffected by stuff. I feel like this should have been a full-on Towers instead of like a Towers and a half.
So the problem with looking at cards individually without looking at the whole, what we know has been released so far, is we're going back to the first opinions on when we just got this card. And my first opinion when it was just this card revealed was, unless this gets support dedicated specifically to this card, there's no point to go into it unless you're really in the middle of your match and you need to get it out.
Yeah.
Because with cards like Nibiru and, other things that, like Winda, you kind of want to go into your Crystal Wing as soon as possible to have that negate.
Your fast dragons, your Crystal Wings.
Instead of going into 2 different synchros or whatever and making this, it's just so many materials that are wasted, and it takes so much effort, and there's so many opportunities for your opponent to explode your entire board.
And the worst part when this card first came out was that there was another level 10 Synchro revealed that was just an Omni Negate. It could negate anything once.
Yes.
And that was a level 10 that was generic. It just needed a tuner and a non-tuner.
And didn't it also have higher stats?
It was 33, I think. I think it's a little bigger. But it might have the same stats as this.
I am a little confused why it does have Crystal Wing, stats on it. Isn't it Crystal Wing stats?
It's antagonist stats, or evolved boss monster stats.
I'm a little confused on why it's not a little higher, especially since its levels are higher.
Exactly.
And you're, like I said, you're putting in so many more materials. Once again, viewing this just as the initial card.
Luckily, because this did mention a tuner synchro, which when Speedroid players across the world, when we saw that, we were like, we're getting one. They were like, that's a code word. It means Speedroids get one.
Yeah, we were all excited.
We were very excited, and every Speedroid player went, it's gonna summon this. They were all like, it's gonna summon Clearwing somehow. The Synchro Tuner, that is. We were all like, the Synchro Tuner's gonna make this thing super easy to summon.
Now, it was before all the rest of the support was released that people, or somebody had discovered the one card combo to getting into this monster that you showed off in one of your other videos.
Yes, that was shared in the Speedroid group on Facebook. If you're a Speedroid player and you're not in the Facebook groups, they are wonderful people. I love everyone in the Speedroid group. They're super nice. They're one of the nicest Yu-Gi-Oh communities there are. So if you're not in there, either join the Discord to join the Speedroid cult, or join the Facebook group to join the Facebook group.
Join the cult.
Merch coming soon. I'm gonna tease it right now. Merch coming soon. Speedroid merch.
But you also did show the combo.
Yes, I did show off the combo.
Your it was test hands and combo video.
You can make this with one Terratop, but now you can make this at any point during your combo thanks to the new Synchro Tuner. But yeah, overall, I think now knowing how easy it is to summon, I get its lacks, why it feels so backtracked.
I feel like the reason it didn't have the exact stats that you were expecting it to have attack defense wise is because maybe Konami already figured out that you could do a one card combo into it.
Maybe.
And that's why they were like, let's not. I still think it should have been a little bit higher. I think it should have been at least 27 3K, somewhere around there, for attack. I don't know, that's just my opinion, because like I said, even if you're doing the one card combo, once again, before all the rest of the sport was revealed, it's still so much.
Yes.
And in the end, you're still only getting one spell or trap negate, not spell and trap, and it's still only one of them. And realistically, Speedroid players, they were like, we have our monster negates, cool. We have our extenders,
that's the one thing we got is monster negates.
We have our surgible tuners, cool. We have our recyclable tuners, cool. We need protection against the back row. So that's realistically what many Speedroid players have been hoping for.
That's what we've been asking for forever. Like I believe ever since the Kite Drake poll happened, we've been like, can we get some spell and trap negation, please? Can we get some protection or something?
Like this card's second effect really disappointed a lot of people, and especially because like whenever it comes to the monster effect, it doesn't negate it at all. So not only does it not negate your monster effect, but you had to sack your Crystal Wing to get it out.
Your Clear Wing.
And potentially even both, depending on how you went about your play. But yes, at least your Clear Wing, which is still getting rid of that monster negate. And then on top of that, you don't get full protection against back row.
I kind of want to end this here because I do want to keep moving and can talk about the other stuff. I think that it's kind of unfair. Especially when you look at the Synchro Tuner that does summon, that makes this way easier to summon. The other deck that I compare this to, only because it was in another Legendary Duelist set, is Blackwings. Blackwings got a Towers that is a Snatch Steal. I'm not saying we needed a Towers that was a Snatch Steal. I'm saying we needed a Towers that was a Spell and Trap Negate. This could have been that monster. And it's like, oh, well, they made it really easy to summon. And it's like, Konami literally warped Blackwings and made their best monsters summon that Towers monster. So I just felt like it was a little unfair that they shafted Speedroids that way when Speedroids have way more restrictions on them than Blackwings do. But that's all I have to say about this. It definitely did get better with the new stuff, I think.
Moving on to the new one?
Moving on to the new stuff, that's right. And we're going to start, of course, with your boy. You were hyping this guy up. You seem so happy about this guy. And I'll try and put up images either kind of down here somewhere, over Mio's face, whatever. You'll know because I put up a picture of Crystal Clear where it ends up. But this is Speedroid Party Horn Kid, or as I like to call him, Party Boy.
He has the little party blower.
Yeah, he is the little noisemaker. And instantly I remember seeing this and I was like, oh, it's like an Ojai Kid.
I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the card art, I had no idea what it was. I was like, this looks like a doll holding a slingshot.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that was one of the things I mentioned too. I was like, it looks like Ojai Kid, which is one of those Speedroids that doesn't see play so much. So it's really weird they went to this art style for it. But he's really cool. He's a level 4 Wind Machine tuner. Level 4 tuner, the first Speedroid level 4 tuner. which is really cool. At least the first one that matters.
I think 2018 me would have loved that because I always tried to think Horse Stilts was a tuner back then when I was learning how to play.
Speaking of Horse Stilts, anyways, this has 1000, no machine dupe shenanigans, because Speedroids aren't allowed to use machine dupe for some reason. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. If this card is normal or specialed, thank God, you can excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of other wind monsters you control. Add one excavated card to your hand. Also place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a level 3 or higher wind monster you control, reduce its level by 2. So, it's a pot of duality.
First thought when I first read it instantly was whenever it said normal or special.
Oh,
I was like, thank God.
Yes. So it triggers off of Horse Stilts. It's a tuner, so it'll trigger off of Tectomberg. This is fantastic.
It's just the normal or special. I know that part is really not that big of a deal in the game as a whole, but for Speedroid players, that's something unique.
Because if you look at Speedroids, a lot of the good ones say, if this card is normal summoned, when this card is normal summoned.
Which is why getting the link was awesome.
Yes, getting that rubber band shooter was a godsend. I still think he's better than Needle Fiber in terms of archetypal support. He is amazing. The second effect, the level, so he's a pot of duality for Speedroids. Up to the number of other wind things. Thank God that they're recognizing that we play other shit. Oh, whoops. That we play other stuff.
That's one.
I know, that's your one. That you play other stuff that isn't just Speedroids. We play the wind extenders. We play the hasty horses, the Mecha Phantom Beasts in some case, and Tempest was one of the big ones that we played. So this is really nice, especially since being able to dig up like 3 cards off the top of your deck and maybe see that speed recovery, which is still a card we can't search, is incredible. And then the level modulation effect, you can use both. By the way, this is one of those Speedroids you can use both effects in the same turn, which also thank God they didn't throw the Horse Stilts.
It's a hard once per turn on each, though.
Yes, it is hard once per turn. The level modulation, I don't think it'll come up too much. But Speedroids like to level modulate, and I definitely think in certain scenarios, if you have this in the graveyard, it is a good thing to have, especially if you're trying to make a Chanbara or something like that to go into. So overall, Party Blower is pretty good. Speedroid Frat Boy, pretty good. Speedroid Frat Boy, pretty good. Next up, we have Speedroid Magic Hound, and
he's kind of cute.
I called this a fox the first time I saw it. I thought it was a fox.
He kind of looks like a fox or a Chinese dragon or something.
Yeah, he looks a little funky.
Yeah.
But he's a level 3 wind machine effect monster, and I saw this and I was like, finally, a not tuner. And the only thing I wanted it to do was special summon itself, which it doesn't. So it has 800, again, because Speedroids don't get to use machine dupe for some reason. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So hard once per turn on the second effect. When this card is normal summoned, not or special, you can send one Speedroid card from the deck to the grave. Alright. And then it says, if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card, then target one Speedroid monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, special summon one Speedroid Synchro monster with the same level, but different name from the extra deck, but its effects are negated.
See, that part kind of slightly confuses me on how, whenever it comes to the synchro part of it. Realistically, that's just my brain being like, I haven't tested this, I don't have it in my hand, so I'm not really seeing how that's gonna play out properly, but I know that there's a bunch of other players that are way better than me that are probably already scheming how to play this combo through.
So I remember this got revealed last night, and people were instantly like, this is a 1-card Needle Fiber, and that's because there's another card that I'm going to talk about later on that does make this a 1-card Needle Fiber.
See, I see that, but...
Yeah, the send to grave effect is interesting. I wish it said send one card that mentions Speedroid in its text to the grave, because then we could start sending redice cycles and speed recoveries and starting to get our setup going. But unfortunately it does not. It specifies Speedroid card, which now we actually do have Speedroid cards. There is a trap that mentions Speedroid in its text now, or Speedroid in its name, which is the first actual piece of archetypal named support Speedroids I've ever gotten. But overall, this one felt like a step backwards in my opinion, because it was like, after reading a Frat Boy, where he's like, on normal or special, you can do both in the same turn, and then this guy was like, no, on normal, you have to wait a turn to do my other effect, which I don't mind waiting on the other effect, but it should have activated also on special.
For me, what's strange about it is that it really kind of mirrors Horse Stilts, but kind of in a less impressive way. I understand that Needle Fiber is a really good card, but I don't know, just as its effect, it's not as good as Horse Stilts.
I definitely like our Horse Stilts, which serves as our Tin Goldfish and a Foolish Burial. Tin Goldfish and a Foolish Burial, which this seems to be, like, I just feel like Horse Stilts does a lot of the same things this does, but better, because on normal it special summons something. And sure, while you have to wait for that Foolish, you still have to bust your normal for that. But I don't know. I overall think that this card, if we do play it, I think it's a one of. I definitely don't see myself actively doing something with this, unless there's something that I haven't seen that is insane with this.
See, for me, I had imagined that it was going to be either this one or possibly the Trap. I could be getting effects confused, because I read this either last night or this morning, so it's been a hot moment.
Yeah.
I think Horse Stilts might be dropped down to 2 in replacement for 1 of this card, just to test it out, at least.
Yeah. Overall, I think he's a little strange. I do wish that he summoned himself. That was the one thing I wanted. I wanted a non-tuner that summoned itself. So unfortunately, we didn't get that for the main deck monsters. But we did get our brand new level 3 Synchro Tuner. Oh God, did we call this? Speedroid players were like, yep, it's going to be a level 3 Synchro Tuner. And here's the thing with Speedroids, is that levels don't necessarily matter because of Red-Eyed Dice. Red-Eyed Dice allows us to synchro summon between anything of 2 to 7.
And even more now, so with how they're going about the level changing mechanism.
They leaned hard into the fact that they were like, you're gonna use dice. They were like, you're gonna play dice. And so this
really quickly, I'm kind of nervous, but interested to see if this card gets censored.
Oh yeah, because he's a gun.
Well, because I'm pretty sure Speedroids or another deck of some sort had a gun in it, and they changed it.
There's been a few. Barrel Dragon is the most notable one. But yeah, no, this is straight up a gun.
It is just a giant potato blaster.
It is. It looks like a Nerf AK-47. It looks like a Nerf like AR-15. Like it looks nuts. But yeah, so Speedroid players lovingly call this High-Speedroid gun.
I wonder what game piece it's supposed to be.
It's a Cork gun. It's a pop gun.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see it now.
Because its actual name is Cork Blaster, High-Speedroid Cork Blaster.
Cork.
Yeah,
I
see, they even have strings tied onto it.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's a level 3 wind synchro tuner, 500 1000. It needs a tuner and a non-tuner, so it is generic. And it says you can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn, so hard once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this card, except wind. Boo-hoo. We already do that.
Effect or effects once per turn?
You cannot special summon monster. You can only use this card's effect. It only has one effect.
Alright.
And then it says, if this card is synchro summoned, you can activate one of these effects. And this is, all one big effect, but you only get to choose one. Add 1 Speedroid spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Unfortunately, this is not a speed recovery searcher. So far, it only searches the trap, which we'll talk about later. And then it says, but the other effect is where it gets good, which is if this card was synchro summoned using only Speedroid monsters as material, all the materials that were used for its synchro summon are in your graveyard. Special summon all of them.
See, the thing that I kind of like, but I'm kind of nervous about, is that it mentions they all have to be in the graveyard.
Yes.
So if somebody hits you with DD Crow or Call By or anything that can get that monster out of your graveyard and anywhere, you're not able to do the effect at all.
It won't resolve.
So on one hand, I think that's really neat because that kind of balances it out for your opponent to have the opportunity so that you don't extend to the point where you win the game super easily because of that mechanism. But at the same time,
oh wait, hang on.
How many?
This would resolve if they crowed it. It's a comma. That's all. There's no semicolon after that. In your graveyard, comma, special summon all. Oh, sorry. Special summon all of them.
This is all the materials.
Yeah, but that's only when it's activated. So this would resolve even if something got crowed.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like my whole point just went.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You couldn't have read that effect better.
I didn't realize it until I was looking at it because you. Okay.
The sneak card.
But yeah, the really good part about it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You read it as one sentence.
Well, it doesn't have a semicolon. That means...
Didn't they teach you anything in English? It's although I went to the store this morning.
All right. But of course, the really cool thing about this is that it does not negate the effects of the monsters that it summons, which means if you use dice to summon it and a non-tuner, dice can instantly trigger again, targeting the non-tuner and making it level 6, making Clear Wing, taking your level 3 and your Clear Wing and making Crystal Clear Wing. Hi.
Hi.
What's wrong?
I have nothing else to say.
Oh, you got nothing else to say about it? Oh, yeah, but yeah, that's what he does. So basically,
Cool card.
if you now any Speedroid plus Tactomberg equals
game.
Yeah, equals Crystal Clear now. So yeah, really cool. Now we did get a level 11 synchro, which I didn't see this coming.
This card art is neat. It was the first thing that I noticed about it. I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Because as somebody who has never watched the anime, I was like, this looks a little funny for the deck, but then once you realize it's his support,
yeah,
it's like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, once you realize that this isn't, it's supposed to also be like, because it's meant to infuse the anime duelist into his deck. So this was really cool. This is High-Speedroid Clear Wing Rider, and the artwork, of course, is meant to look like Yugo's Duel Runner, but as a Speedroid, which is really cool. It's a really cool artwork, and it even has Clear Wing in the background of the artwork.
Yeah, you can see it morphing into the...
Yeah, like it kind of...
fusing into it.
Yeah, like it turned into his Duel Runner, and...
or I guess synchroing.
Yeah, but it's a really cool looking artwork, and it's level 11 Wind Machine Synchro, 35 2000. These were the stats that I wanted on the level 10. This thing is huge, and it says it needs a Wind Tuner and a non-tuner Wind Synchro. And before I get into the actual effect, this is why Speedroid's got a level 4, because initially if you had a level 3, you'd have to use Crystal Wing. And I think Konami realized people aren't going to want to give up a Crystal Wing that easy for this, so they gave us a level 4 tuner to use with Clear Wing and Ignister, Pegasus, I think is the one that we play, and the other Clear Wing as well. So that's why I believe we got a level 4 tuner, specifically for this monster. But his effect is, once per turn you can roll a 6-sided dice and shuffle wind monsters from your graveyard into the deck up to the result, up to. Then you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number shuffled, and if you do, this card gains 500 attack for each card destroyed by this effect until the end of this turn. This is a really cool effect. Let me finish it. Second effect is, during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, tribute this Synchro Summon card, special summon up to 2 level 7 Wind Synchro monsters with different names from your extra deck. That is amazing. Being able to summon Clear Wing Synchro Dragon and Clear Wing Fast Dragon on your opponent's turn is really cool. I especially think if we get stuff that lets us dump Redice Cycle to the graveyard, this will be a really important effect, as Redice Cycle will then let us Synchro Summon into Kite Drake on the opponent's turn.
You've been really into Redice Cycle, like this just all today.
I'm just saying, like, it's a really important card. It lets you Synchro Summon on your opponent's turn.
It's such a good thing that I went through our bulk and found all the Speedroid
I know. And I did that huge High-Speed Riders opening, so we have plenty of extra stuff.
What would you do without me?
I know. But yeah, the first effect is really interesting. One thing that I just realized this, that kind of and I don't know if they did this on purpose, but it kind of mirrors Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend's effect, which is another Arc 5 Synchro boss monster from the show that Yugo is in. So that's kind of something that's neat. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that's just something they decided to slap on this thing. But yeah, that's really cool. And I like that both times it's up to the amount. You pop up to the amount and you can shuffle up to the amount. So even if you roll high, but if you roll a 6 and you only have 4 in your graveyard, you can still shuffle back all 4 and still pop all 4. So it doesn't feel like you're actually like you don't get to resolve it, which is really good. And then of course, like I mentioned, the other effect is really good too.
Sadly, I don't have much other to say about this card.
Yeah, no, not this one either?
I didn't really look at it.
That's fair. It looks neat, though.
I was half asleep this morning going, oh, I guess I should read these.
Alright, so the final new card we got for Speedroids, and we are going to get one more, but we don't know what it is yet. So this is the last one we have for now, and it's the new Speedroid trap, Speedroid Duplicate, which has High-Speedroid Puzzle on it. Puzzle getting some representation here. Notably the worst of the Speedroid synchros.
People use them for just like the tiniest.
He is best used for the Cosmic Blazar build.
It's the tiniest one.
Yeah. You make him because 5, you have Martial Metal Marcher, him, and Hagoda equal 12. Oh yeah, effect. So it's a normal trap card. It says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per duel. One time per duel.
Which is an effect you don't see at all anymore.
So instantly reading that, I was like, what does this do?
Ancient.
I was like, what does this do? So its first effect is banish a wind monster from your graveyard, target a card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Nice, sweet little compulse effect. I wish it was return a banish wind, but whatever. Especially since Speedroids don't have any banish recovery. But then it says, the second effect is, during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Speedroid monster you control, reduce its level by 1, and if you do, special summon this card as a normal monster, machined Wind Tuner, level 1, 0/0. This is not treated as a trap. That is a level eater. That is straight up a trap monster that comes out of the graveyard as a level eater.
So I'm not gonna lie. 100% not gonna lie. I didn't really understand why that effect is so protected. And that it's just because I've never played with a card like that. I have played Phantom Knights before, but them and I've played I've seen people play what's it called? Starts with P.
Paleozoic?
Yeah, Paleozoic.
There you go.
That's a good example. Paleozoics. I've seen people play that, but they just kind of did that normally, so I don't understand really the full extent of why that is such a protected effect.
Why it being a level eater is why people are so excited about it being a level eater.
More on just why the card is built that way.
I think the reason people are kind of like looking at this is because this is the first time we've really seen a trap monster that does anything like this. Let alone in a deck that never did anything like this before. This is very out of the left field for Speedroids. But I definitely think it's really cool that they straight up were like, here's a banned card once per duel as a trap that does something else.
That was interesting.
I think that's really cool, especially since Level Eater was a very notable combo piece in early Synchro decks. And then they were like, well, we're making another one, might as well give that a Level Eater, you know? Like, that's so crazy. I'm a little iffy on it being once per duel. I understand it. I do. But the only thing I wish it let you pick if it was a tuner or a non-tuner. That is the one thing, because Speedroids have a lot of tuners. The deck feels a little clogged with tuners. So it would be nice if we could get some no tuners. Because realistically, our non-tuners are Yo-Yo, Horse, and Terratop. I guess Hagoda is in there too. He comes back a lot. So
do you think this card, since it is a once per duel effect, even though it is good, do you think people are going to play it at more than 2?
You know what? The bounce, being something Speedroids do struggle with is some stuff that like is just on the board and we can't get rid of. This is a window out. It is a window out. It's it's an out to a lot of stuff. Not gonna lie.
Because the first effect is good, but also with like how much support the deck has and how many realistically great cards the deck has, it's gonna be a really tight build if you're gonna try to keep it close to 40.
Especially with Win nowadays, and I think that's one of the reasons. I think we are gonna see some more spells and traps infused in Speedroids. Something that
except for Redie Cycle.
Oh my god. One thing that notable anime watcher, TCG Cardcast, friend of ours, mentioned that the anime spells for Speedroids, Speed Scratch and Speed Draw, which is the Rhoda and the Draw spell for Speedroids, he mentioned that might be in the anime set that's coming out that has a bunch of anime exclusive cards in it. He mentioned that Speedroid stuff, that those 2 cards specifically might be stuck in that set instead of putting it in the Legendary Duelist set. So this might just be new stuff, and then we'll see the final 2 cards that we are truly missing for Speedroids come out in that, which would be really nice if that happened. Overall, I think this card will see play, at least with 2, because it is a really strong effect both ways. I think the trap will see play, at least as a 2 of. And maybe less if you play like a Needle Fiber build, which is now super viable with this and Magic Hound.
Which is because that 1 card.
Yeah, just because of this and Magic Hound. So I definitely think we'll see something. I'm very excited to test these out. I'm super hyped to play these on Edo Pro. I'm very excited. I'm not excited to have to pull multiple play sets of this from boxes for both of us.
I don't think it'll be that hard since like no one we know has a Speedroid deck.
Exactly, so.
Speedroid Cult is exclusive.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get all the stuff we need. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this stuff down below. Are you excited for the Speedroid stuff? Are you excited for the Lyrilusk or the Fleur Synchron stuff? Let us know down below. And with that all said, thank you so much for watching. Before I let you guys go, down in the description there's a link to our Teespring where you can pick up some of our merch, as well as our Discord, where if you feel like joining the Speedroid cult, you can do just that. That all said, I'll see you guys in the next video.
Nice card.